Okay, so I really want to start off this video, this podcast, by asking you a question. Are you ready for it? So, how many courses do you currently have sitting in your hard drive that you don't have opened yet? Or how many memberships have you signed up for with the best intentions and then only to ghost those memberships? I mean, really ghosted, as in you logged in once and then you poked around and then you never looked back. If your hand is raised right now, then this video is for you. I mean, very good company, because you're not the only one that struggles with this. I have worked with so many different family photographers, or I've spoken with other family photographers, and I will even say other creative-minded business owners who have purchased memberships, who have purchased courses, and then they never dug into them. They know that they bought a certain course, they know that they are in a membership, or they know that they have resources and templates that are like a gold mine of information for them, but yet they've never touched them. Why is that? And here's the thing, I really want you to hear me out. This podcast is not a lecture. This is not me wagging my finger at you and saying, tisk, tisk, I am going to talk down to you. No, I want you to stop even thinking that. I am just talking about the obvious elephant in the room. Yes, even though I believe that you are leaving money on the table with all of your unfinished courses and maybe even memberships that you're not even digging into, there is money being left on the table. But that's besides the point. The point of today is to actually help you understand what it's costing you and why you're actually doing these actions of avoiding that membership that you purchased or avoiding those templates or resources you purchased. And hopefully this will give you the pep talk and the framework that you need to take some steps to re-engage with that workflow, that system of actually implementing the membership that you are a part of, or like actually implementing those templates and resources that you purchased. Because here's what I know about you. You didn't buy that course or purchase that membership because you love wasting money. Like, that's not you at all. You bought it because you genuinely want to learn and grow. You joined a membership because something really resonated with you and you want to learn and grow. The desire you have is valid. The investment is still there. And today I really want to help you actually do something about it. So let's dig in. But before we begin, hi, my name is Dolly DeLong. I am a Nashville-based family photographer and motherhood photographer. I also am a systems and workflow educator for other family photographers. So what that means is I use this YouTube channel and my free education to help educate other family photographers and creative-minded business owners all about the importance of systems, workflows, SOPs, and how it all plays into the back end of your business and how you operate your business and how you show up in marketing. And today's topic is a little different because it's not about a specific marketing tip or strategy or workflow. It's about something that usually gets in the way of implementing your new strategy, your new workflow that you are paying to want to learn. It's about that gap that not a lot of people talk about purchasing education and then actually using it. There's this gap. And I really want to be completely transparent and honest with you too. In the past, I have spent so much money on purchasing either memberships or one-time investments for bigger courses, and I thought I would use them for my business, and I never tapped into them. So I am just as guilty of this. So I'm not speaking at you today. I'm not lecturing at you today. I'm speaking to myself as well. I'm digging into this because I want us to actually use our money wisely for a small business, because I know you're most likely wearing all the hats in your business, just like I'm wearing all the hats in my business. And so let's tap into why we are not implementing those paid courses or those paid memberships into our own business. What is happening? Okay, so the first reason, and honestly, the most common reason you're not jumping into your courses or your membership is this. You joined at a peak of motivation. Maybe you've just had a slow season and you were fired up and you wanted to fix things instantly. Maybe you saw somebody on Instagram, while you were scrolling Instagram and you were in the middle of your morning coffee or your morning tea and you thought, yes, this is exactly what I need, what I want. And so you bought it because of that energy that you picked up on Instagram. I mean, really, that energy is real. When you see somebody being energetic on Instagram or on a story or a reel, you pick up on that energy. But then here's what happens next on the other side. Your motivation, it fades. Not because you're flaky or because you don't actually care, but because motivation is a fleeting feeling. And feelings are not fuel. They're not reliable fuel for taking long-term action because life's us. Life happens. A client project comes up. Your kids have something busy going on. One of your kids gets sick every other week. I mean, hello. Your busy season starts. And so because of that, lifing at you, that course or that membership that you invested in just sits there quietly. It sits there quietly waiting for you to consume it, all while you are telling yourself, okay, I'll get to it next week. I'll get to it next week. And then at some point, next week becomes next month, and then this low grade guilt starts building up inside of us. That guilt makes it harder for us to actually go back into that course or that membership or that template to actually dig into the resource because you're being reminded, I didn't start off right away. And that guilt is making you feel like, what's the point of even beginning? I should have started months. You already feel like you're falling behind. And that feeling does not feel great. So this is a really important thing to name in this, okay? Guilt is making it worse. Guilt is making you not take action. And I'm going to come back in a moment or two to help us dissolve that guilt in just a bit, okay? I promise. I do want to say, I think it's funny that I'm doing this video. For those of you who don't know anything about my background, I have a master's in mental health counseling. This was my past life before I became a full-time family photographer and a full-time systems and workflow educator. So I really feel like I have my counseling hat on at this moment. But I just want to walk us through like why we are not taking action on certain aspects of our business. Okay, so reason number 2, you're not diving into your course or your membership is this. You were immediately overwhelmed by the amount of content when you opened up your membership area or that course portal. The second reason is something I think a lot of online course creators and educators and membership owners, including myself, have to be really honest about. Education products can feel like a lot, especially when you first get inside of it. Because there's a lot. You log in for the first time, you're so excited, and then you're immediately hit with like 20 modules and all of this information. There's like a resource library full of great, like a gold mine of training and full archive of back-end resources and replays. And then your brain immediately goes into some sort of weird calculation mode as to, my gosh, like this is overwhelming. When am I going to watch this? When am I going to consume this? I don't have time for all of this. And then something very protective in you just kicks in and then you immediately jump out. You're like, I need to close these tabs. I feel overwhelmed. And I do want to say that overwhelmed feeling is a real thing. It makes complete sense. It does. You already are a solo business owner. You're managing a lot of different puzzle pieces for your business. And then the last thing you need is just like another added task to your plate, a second job of managing this new membership or managing this course. But here is what I want you to reframe for yourself, okay? So this is my counselor hat coming in to talk with you about reframing this whole situation. You're not supposed to consume it all at once. A membership is not something you read from cover to cover in order to take this exam at the end. Like, no. A course is not something you have to binge in one setting to be successful. It's all a resource. You should be dipping into it, taking what you need out of it, and then utilizing that and then moving on. The people who get the most out of their courses, out of their memberships, are not people who just binge watch everything. Maybe some are, but some of them are intentionally taking in what they need to watch or learn or read at the moment for like an hour, maybe 30 minutes. They are the ones who are showing up consistently. They're making plans on their calendar as to what day of the week is going to be their continuing education time. They look at one thing. They're not looking at all the things. They're just looking at one thing and then they implement that. That's the whole game for them. Those are the people who buy the courses, buy the trainings, buy the resources, are part of a membership. Those are the people who are experiencing that transformational success that you're seeing plastered over everybody's sales page. Like they are taking the action. They had to actually reframe it for themselves without even knowing that they were reframing it. They knew, hey, I'm making an investment in this membership, or hey, I'm making an investment for this $2,000 course I just purchased. Okay? So when am I going to sit down once a week or every other day or like once a quarter to consume this to move the needle on a certain task of my business? In other words, they are good at managing their time. Or let's look at it a different way. They're really good at making sure that they're taking the time to consume what they just purchased. And this leads me to reason number three. Reason number three is you had no plan for how to actually use it. And here is a slightly uncomfortable truth. Most people hurriedly and in excitement buy education, buy memberships, buy templates without a plan for how to actually integrate it into their business and the back end of their business operations. I say this just openly because I have done this myself. You buy something, you get excited, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I don't have any time in the next X amount of weeks to actually implement what I just bought so that I can move a certain needle of my business. This is where the missing piece is often a system, and it's no more willpower. It's, did you actually carve out the time to create a system of learning? Because if you don't have like that specific time blocked out for continuing education and implementation, then it's a waste. Because that time where you should have like carved out, it's going to get moved over because your client work, that editing time, that networking time, like whatever you need to further your family photography business, those are going to take precedence over your implementation time. And what feels urgent in the moment is almost always client work, editing, or sometimes honestly resting because you are tired. You're going to experience getting really tired. This running a photography business as a solo business owner is a lot. It's a lot. It's tiring. So the answer to this is not more willpower or to feel even more motivation. The answer is to make a very small, very specific plan. And we'll talk about that shortly. So hang tight. Okay, so reason number 4, you're not really diving into your courses and your membership is you already feel behind. And you've convinced yourself that you're too late to start now, that you are behind. So what's the point? Now, this point is very sneaky and I want to call it out by name. So if you joined a membership and then missed a few weeks, or if you bought a course and other people seem further along than you are, there is this like little nagging voice at the back of your head that is whispering to you or screaming at you, it's too late now. What's the point? Everyone else seems to have finished the first few modules, so what's the point? You missed the live call. What's the point? What's the point? You don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll wait for a better time to jump in, but I don't even know when that is. What's the point? I'm already so far behind. And I want to say, friend, that voice is lying to you. There is no late when it comes to learning, but absolutely not. That material is not going anywhere. That membership is not going to revoke your access because you missed several weeks. And nobody, I promise, nobody is keeping tabs on you. And that's only you. The only person making you feel behind is you. Sorry. And I want to say this very directly and as kindly as possible, but there will never be a perfect, uncrowded, fully open season in your life where everything else quiets down for you. You finally have the space to learn. That season doesn't exist. I'm learning this. I was told, hey, when your kids get older, you'll have more time. No, that's not true. Hey, when your kids go to school, you'll have more time. No, that's not like there will always be pockets of time that I can use. But overall, in general, like your life just gets busier and busier the older you get. That's reality. The season to re-engage is now. No matter what season you're in, you can still re-engage. And that might be only 15 minutes a week or 30 minutes every Monday or 1 hour every Thursday. You know your schedule the best. Because guess what? Every season has different time frames, time periods where it ebbs and flows. Might have only 15 minutes in this season every Friday. Okay. Take that 15 minutes and engage and learn something to move the needle. Or you might discover, hey, I have 2 extra hours for sure every Saturday afternoon. I'm then dive into that every Saturday afternoon. It's not about the day of the week. It's about you assessing your schedule and being really honest about when is your genuine free time so that you can dive into this continuing education. And this brings me to reason number 5 of why you are not jumping into your membership or to your courses. The last reason is, I think, perfectionism in disguise. And it shows up as waiting until things slow down, waiting until you have more time, waiting until you feel more organized, waiting until you're caught up on client work, waiting until you feel ready. But here's the thing, readiness is not a feeling that arrives before action. Readiness is a feeling that comes as a result of taking action. You don't feel ready and then start. You start and then you begin to feel ready, or at least you have started and you're taking those steps forward step by step to becoming more confident. The photographers who make the most consistent progress in their business and marketing are not the ones who had more time or less on their plate. They are the ones that decided to take one small step at a time, even when they felt imperfect and incomplete. So you don't need to be all caught up. You don't need to have everything consumed to be ready. You just need to go back in and start from wherever you are right now. So here's what I want you to do next. After listening to those reasons, here's some action steps for you. Okay. So the first thing is, please release that guilt right now. That's your first step. So I literally, if you are alone or if you are washing dishes or if you are walking, I want you to take a deep breath in and release that guilt and let go of that stupid guilt about not having used your education yet. I genuinely mean it. That guilt is not helping you. It's not helping anyone. It's actually the thing that's standing between you and then you taking action to re-engage with what you can do right now. Because every time you think about re-engaging with that course or that membership, that guilt is the first thing that shows up. Then it feels so bad. So your brain wants to avoid it altogether. Let me remind you, you bought this membership. You bought this course because you wanted to grow. The intention was really good. The investment is still there. The content is still there. And that's the important part. It does not matter if you've used it yet or not. It's still there. What matters is that you use it now. The guilt is not a debt you have to pay in order to be allowed back in, okay? You are allowed to just walk back in and start again the day without any apology or preamble or any excuses. So your second step after you release that guilt is to set a tiny specific goal for this week. Not this month, this week. Not this quarter, this week. And not a vague goal like, I'm going to catch up on everything. But because that's literally another recipe for overwhelm, and then you're going to avoid it again. And then your guilt will take over again. I'm talking about something very tiny and very specific. Here are some examples of tiny and specific, like what that looks like. I am going to watch one module this Thursday morning when my kids are at school or when my kids are doing their quiet time. One module. I'm going to log into my membership and watch the replay from this past week. Just one replay. I'm going to spend 20 minutes this Friday going through the welcome guide. That's it. One thing. One specific time. You decide. One small win. And that small win will help you build momentum. And momentum, honestly, is what keeps you going. Okay, so step 3 is this. Stop trying to start at the beginning. Here is something I really need you to hear. You don't have to start at module 1, especially in a membership where content is ongoing. There's no official starting line. I mean, I do want to caveat by saying, unless the course that you purchased, the person does say, the educator does say, you should start at module 1, lesson 1, then yes, start there. But if this is for a membership, or if you can jump from module to module and it doesn't necessarily build on each other, then just start somewhere. But I always have to feel like I have to do a caveat and give you verbal permission. If the instructor does say start at lesson 1, then start at lesson 1. But your brain again is making up all of these excuses for you to start. So like think about what is one small thing in your business and marketing that is feeling the most heavy right now. Find that content inside of your course or the membership that you purchased and see how you can just like fix that one problem right now. And remember, your brain is going to want to present 1,000 problems to you. So just focus on one thing that you can solve right now. Okay, so step 4 is this. Make re-engaging a scheduled habit, not a willpower game. So I asked you earlier to just choose one time a week to take action. And now I want you to schedule that habit once a week. And here is what will actually determine whether you use your education moving forward. Not how motivated you feel, not how much you paid for it, not how many times you tell yourself you should be doing this because you really should. I mean, your brain is going to tell you that. It is whether or not you have a scheduled, reoccurring time in your week that is set aside for learning and implementation. You need to have implementation time in your business. I want to encourage you to treat your implementation time, your education time, the way you treat a client session. I know you would not cancel on a client because you are too tired or too busy. You show up. You show up for your client sessions because it's on the calendar. Business growth deserves that type of protection, even if it's for 30 minutes a week. So I want you to block it and I want you to name it and I want you to stick to it like a reoccurring schedule because that 30 minutes a week adds up over time. Think about it this way, that 30 minutes a week adds up to over 25 hours of focused growth by the end of the year. And that is nothing. That's really significant. That's a big number. And then finally, step 5, I want you to talk to someone that you know is a part of that membership or a part of that same course that you purchased. So one of the biggest things that keeps people from re-engaging is the isolation of feeling like they're the only ones who fell off. And I guarantee you, almost anyone inside an educational community has had a season where they went quiet. Almost everyone feels a little left behind. And the photographers who really find their way back into having reoccurring schedules of continuing education and implementing what they're learning, they're the ones who are reaching out to fellow members or fellow people who have purchased the same program. They're building that inner community. Connection is often the bridge back to consistency because you're being held accountable. So if you're in a membership that has a community element to it, please use it. Those communities exist exactly for moments like this, when you feel stuck, not for when you have a polished win to share. Yes, you should share your wins, but you should also ask for help and encouragement. That's what community is for. So I do want to very briefly talk about why I built out the Family Photographers Marketing Society. This is my marketing membership specifically for family photographers who need help with marketing on Instagram for visibility purposes and also consistency in email marketing. These are two things that I see a lot of family photographers struggle with. They struggle with keep consistently on Instagram because of the overwhelm, because of the fear of falling behind because of trends and just not showing up. And then also not emailing out their list because 1, they don't know what to say. 2, they feel annoying. 3, they feel like they have a small list. 4, they don't see the power of email marketing. And so there's so many excuses we as family photographers make in not digging into email marketing. And so I decided to merge those two things, Instagram marketing with email marketing, because I see a lot of power in doing a lot of top of funnel marketing on Instagram because you have those visuals as a family photographer. And people can get to know your brand as a family photographer and your value as a family photographer. And then hopefully, as you market on Instagram, you're inviting your new viewers, your current community onto your email list, and you're nurturing them through email marketing. But then a third aspect that I don't really talk about that much, and I should be talking more of, is the aspect of SEO, that stands for search engine optimization. This is a third part of the Family Photographers Marketing Society that I've really leaned into, especially in 2026, because I really want family photographers to know about the power of Instagram marketing and email marketing, of course, but then also about the power of creating a really good foundation in SEO so that their Instagram marketing feels lighter. They don't have to depend upon it so much. When you have a really good SEO foundation, that really does matter in the long term because you want to have people find you organically, not just on Instagram, not just on social media, and probably not with paid ads, especially if you are a very beginner in your journey. You need to have a way to have organic marketing work for you in your sleep, and that's where SEO comes in. I built out this society, I call it the Family Photographers Marketing Society, to be a weekly marketing template. I send out a template with a Loom video of me walking the members through the document about what to post that week on Instagram, what to email their list, and then also keyword ideas and real bonus ideas on what to work on for their long form SEO purposes, because it all goes in together. And something that I like that I do is I only present the family photographers with only 2 templates. So I don't have an archive of all the templates from the past because I know if I did that, then new members would come in and feel overwhelmed with where to begin. So when they come in, there is a welcome area. There is a members welcome video, but then I direct them to go straight to the weekly template because that's all they need to work on. And then there is a bonus resource area, of course, but I try to make it as uncomplicated as possible. So it's not a membership where you're supposed to consume everything at once because that's overwhelming. It's a membership that is meant for you to show up week after week on certain days, like that you decide where you are going to start implementing the marketing for the next week. Because I try to help the family photographers think ahead of time and not do reactive marketing, but proactive marketing. So if you are a family photographer who is looking for something very structured and you want consistency week after week after week, and you want to build off of SEO in order to impact your Instagram and your email marketing, and you want to have like 3 different levers to really build momentum on, again, SEO, Instagram marketing, and email marketing, then check out the Family Photographers Marketing Society. The link is in the description below. Okay, so let's go back and do a quick recap before I go. Here's what we spoke about today. The 5 real reasons why you're not engaging with your courses or your memberships are that motivation has faded after you've joined. You got overwhelmed by the amount of content that was in the membership or in the course. You have no plan for how to actually use it. You feel behind and you've convinced yourself that it's too late. And you are ready to have that feeling of perfection and readiness before starting. And the 5 steps to re-engage right now are 1, to release that guilt that is holding you back. The second step is to set one tiny specific goal for this week. The third is to stop trying to start at the beginning and instead jump into whatever's most relevant to your business right now. The fourth is to schedule your learning time just like you schedule out your client sessions. And the fifth is, if there is a community aspect, to reach out inside of your community because connection is what brings us back in. So here's the thing I want to offer to you before I wrap everything up. Just open the course or the membership that you've been avoiding. Just open it. You don't have to watch anything yet. You don't have to make a plan or set big goals yet. Just log back in, because sometimes the hardest thing you can do is taking that first step is by logging into that course or that membership and then bookmark it. So I hope that this video was helpful and just inspiring and that pep talk you needed to start re-engaging back into that course or membership that you've invested in for your business. Now tell me below in the comments which of these 5 reasons resonated with you. I read every single comment, and I would genuinely love to know. And if you have a photographer friend who has purchased a course or is sitting on a membership and they're not utilizing that, tag them below and to hopefully encourage them to take that next step. Send this video their way. It might be the encouragement they need to hear today. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. It means so much to me. If you haven't yet already, can you please hit subscribe to this YouTube channel? It would mean the world to me. And new videos come out every Friday. And then I also post these to my podcast the following Monday so that you can learn in 2 different formats. Until then, have a streamlined and magical day, you amazing muggle you. I will talk to you all next week. Bye.